moldings here. So I put milk in my tea. I'll show you. I put it into context for you. Restoring a dresser at the moment. And the first order of business was to remove all the paint. You can see behind me, I've taken it all apart, so it's brought back to its individual planks. Some of them have paint still. I'm working my way through them. But others, you know, have been stripped back to their bare wood grain. Currently, I'm working on one of these doors, which is a frame and panel. So I was able to disassemble them. I'll show you why it's so painstaking. So this is the one that's been stripped of all its paint. But you can see these tiny little moldings here. With a big flat piece of timber, you can just, you know, scrape or plane or sand it back to bare timber. But with the more intricate little pieces, you kind of more or less have to do it very slowly by hand. So I start off removing the gunk, because these were very badly glued on at one point. There's little nails in them that my knives keep catching and blunting off. It's an awful job, I won't lie to you. But I do enjoy it. I do like this particular project. So I won't complain. I just said I'd take the opportunity to come on and do a live stream, pass the time away. How am I? I'm very well, thanks for asking. It's good to have a big project to get stuck into, so I'm quite enjoying that at the moment. How are you, Frank? Look at this cute little plane I've got. Why not use power tools? That'd be too easy altogether. But a challenge is fun, isn't it? The paint, of course, is clogging up my hand planes. So a gouge can be useful too. Then of course you guys can't see what I'm doing. That's alright, I'll just scrape it. See, there's a bit of paint coming off there. What have I been up to recently that I could talk to you about? I was up in Dublin yesterday, recording for a television programme. You made your own pint pendant. Oi, that's copyright. I'm only messing you. I'm delighted. Send me a photo. I'd like to see what did you use for the white head, and what did you use for the dark stout, I suppose you could call it. This thing was painted and then painted on again and then painted on again. So I'm removing the centuries here, really, is what I'm doing. Black mulga and Tanzanian oak. Beautiful. Why is paint so harsh on your tools? It's just gunky. It clogs them up. the sharp edges are not designed to tackle that sort of business, you know. I was tempted to just make new moldings and save myself the trouble, but that wouldn't be doing a good job, really. I think where possible, you should leave as much of the original still intact. You don't want it to look too old either. This dresser is, you know, at least a century, possibly much older. So to just come along and replace it with new planks of wood where the old ones could be saved would just be removing history for no good reason, wouldn't it? Ah, no. I cut a nail on my knife. Yeah, it's very cold, I won't lie to you, but I've got a little gas heater behind me, so it's not too bad. Wire brush by hand, not easy but not too hard. Nah, the wire brush leaves too rough a finish on it, I found. Do you know Kells, County Meath? It's funny you say that. I work for a company who sells sheds, and they've just donated one to the men's shed in Kells, County Meath. So that's gas. We have a super chat, guys, from Private Herrera. Hey, I appreciate what you do and teach. You've helped me stay positive in rough times. Thanks. Also, I still find woodworking hard. Well, thank you for your very kind words. Yeah, it's supposed to be hard, I think, you know. I do find it very hard as well, at the best of times. But sure, anything worthwhile usually is. Did I watch the match? No, I don't follow sports, I'm afraid. It's just too much of a time sink, I find. I watch big and important games of like hurling and stuff when they're on, but unless it's kind of almost a national holiday, the game is so big, I don't really follow them. I think Cork is doing well in, not Cork, because I think Ireland is doing well in football at the moment. So there's mad excitement, as in is doing well in soccer. The rest of the world calls it football, but I think we call it soccer because we've also got our own Gaelic football, kind of our own native sport that occupies that name. I keep on hitting that nail with my lovely delicate knife. I'm trying to dance around it. Use the cheap burner knife for this. I quoted 250 quid a day to restore this item. I'm glad I did. It's you know, skilled labor, which isn't cheap. So yeah, I've got a lot of interest of people looking for me to restore their old dressers, but most people just aren't willing to pay that kind of price. I get it's a lot of money, but you know, they just require a lot of time and skill, and you know, the big thing is time. Time really is money, you know. If I'm working on this dresser, I'm not making money any elsewhere, so that's kind of how you got to do it, right? Super chat in from Samuel McCoy. Thanks for all you do, Owen. Well, thank you for your support. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without so many of you guys tuning in. So thank you, truly. Compared to a freshly machined one, this is going to look so rough, but I also wouldn't have it any other way. I can, once it's all done, I'll be able to proudly say that, you know, I knew every single square inch of this piece so closely. Hey mate, watching your content for a long time now. Really enjoy it. Please buy yourself a pint or something. Right, great Mahagut. I'm not sure when I'll be out drinking again soon, but I'm sure it won't be long, and I'll definitely buy a drink and think of you. No L. Thank you. Super chat in from Strange Feller. How are you keeping? Good evening, Owen. My new method is taking one board and cutting out the shape, then gluing it to the other board, then cutting out the other half. Lack of proper tools is making you extra creative. That's the wonderful thing about woodworking is, you know, nobody has enough money to buy all the tools that they think they need. So you're forced to use a bit of intuition. So that's the beauty of the craft, really. You have to be clever and figure things out. But thank you for your support, Strange Feller. Now, this is slightly less attention requiring than spoon carving, so I'm still able to somewhat engage with the comments. same time though, it's not totally carefree either. A super chat in from Sweet Pea 1970. Hey, it's good to see you. Haven't come up on my feed lately. Here you go. Well, thank you very much, Sweet Pea. Yeah, the algorithm hasn't been as good to me this year as it has in other years past. But Eric, I don't know, can you blame the algorithm? Really, it's if you make good content, people will watch it. But thank you for your support. I'm still tipping away. So long as I'm able to make content, I will. That's another what I'm going to call molding finished. So let me give you a demonstration real quick. That goes in here. I'll pin that into place down the line, and we'll be one step closer to finishing this this here dresser. My brain forgot what the word was for a second. Book of E-Fly says, hello from Texas. I had meant to book my flights to the US today. I'll be in America from the 26th of January to the 7th of February next year. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, that's so long as I get my visa and book my tickets. That's the plan anyway, it's the dream. I moved the other moldings from where they were so that they'd be here when I do this video. There they are. And I couldn't find them until I could. I tried earlier to get some material off this with the wire brush, but it's just too aggressive, so I parked that. This thing has faced its woodworm problems in the past, guys. So there's a lot of little holes, and I told the client that there's no guarantee that I'd be able to kill them all. And that was, you know, something they just had to accept. Apparently it was treated back in the 90s by her mother, so hopefully she got a few of them. And to be fair, I think it is a dormant infestation, all right, meaning that they're no longer there. So I'm just removing the little rusty old pins that used to hold the moldings in place. And this one just cracked on me, which means I can't get at it now. So I just kind of have to work around it. Look at that. I'm actually going to park this one for now because there's a bit of a crack in it. So I'm going to impregnate that with a bit of wood glue. And then I'll move on to this one here, which also has a crack in it. So just which crack do I want to face right now? I think I'm going to glue this one up first. Open it there, really get it in there. Fingers crossed that works. I can go back to this one. Another nail, another bloody nail. Luca Corcoran says, you keep home for you keep home for diaspora, and thank you. Sorry, bank blocking decent dono to you. Thanks for being you, and we'll be a better sponsor in morning. Well, thank you very much, Luca. I appreciate that. Shark Belly says, cheers from Florida. Thank you for sharing your work with us. Well, thank you for sharing your income with me. Your support means I get to do this. So thank you, truly. There's a lot of woodworm in there. Well, there was anyway. So it's just kind of turned to dust, unfortunately. Dustin says, your pint pendant made it all the way to the US. Excellent work as always, much appreciated. Well, thank you for buying a pint pendant. I've soaked out the last batch as well. If I could only, I probably could make them quicker. They're just very boring to make. I've made 200 of them this year. Which is, to make 200 of anything is of the same thing. Maybe I'm whinging. I should just, get over myself. But repetition is a sad way to follow the love with your craft. Donation to the Can of Paint Remover Fund. Paint remover didn't work. This paint was paint remover proof, but your support is appreciated all the same. What could the dogs be barking at, I wonder? It is satisfying, to be fair. It's slow going, but it is kind of satisfying work all the same. I really am lucky that this is my job, removing paint from old furniture. Super chat in from Mr. Dusk Eye. Good on you, man. Cold one tonight. Get yourself a cuppa. I'm after 2 of them, and if I drink any more, I won't fall asleep. I won't fall asleep anyway tonight. I whatever reason. I don't know, is it the cold keeping me awake or just thinking. But yeah, it'll be a late one either way. I'm gonna stay here another while anyway. I'm not feeling tired yet. Usually I wind up ending the stream after about 30 or so minutes, but I think I'll stay going a bit longer tonight. This is quiet woodworking as well. There's no loud banging, so I won't be pissing off my neighbours, so I think that means we can stay going. Magnesium will help you sleep. Where would I, is that just tablets or? I don't know. I feel like I don't need to be putting anything I don't need into my body. I'd be fine. I'm not suffering from insomnia or anything. I fall asleep eventually. I remember when I was younger, I used to desperately try and remember the exact moment I slipped out of consciousness and fell asleep, and I never succeeded. I guess at a certain point I just stopped trying to do that. Oh lads, we're getting there, we're getting there. So what I'm doing here is removing paint from mouldings, just so we can restore this beautiful old dresser from County Cavan. did say a few minutes ago that there was no loud banging. There is quiet banging though, so we'll have to be gentle here now. So that's the nails that didn't that refused to come out. It's a shame, because if we hit them with our plain blade, it'll do all sorts of unpleasant things to it. So what I've done there is just knock them into the wood so that they are kind of out of reach. Well, that sounds like I'm hitting nails there. Maybe I am. Whoa! Nearly dropped my hand plane. It's alright, we can drop this piece. Alright. There we go. That was our culprit. Super chat in from T. How you keeping, T? Our next project is on sustainability. I'm thinking of basing it on how furniture / wood, the story can be continued through recycling the wood. That's definitely a wonderful. I've often thought of like rafters that were in old kind of timber frame buildings being repurposed into, you know, the likes of fine furniture, like the story of the tree growing in the woods, old growth in, let's say, North America, undisturbed for thousands of years, and then all of a sudden just being cut down by, you know, the colonizers as they spread west, and then, you know, being in the roof of a barn or a shed or a house for another 100 years before being taken down and then milled up and turned into some fine furniture. You know, it's an incredibly versatile material. Do that there. But thank you for your super chat, team. Look at all that woodworm, lads. No good. It's actually caused our thing to begin to split. So I'm going to try open her up there now and get a bit of wood glue into those gaps. Oh, got it on my thumb. That'll never come off now. We'll just use our vise then to clamp it together while the glue sets. Do I make carving tools? I don't. I'd love to, but I think I won't have enough time in this lifetime. Can you make me something and send it to America? I'll be doing another batch of pint pendants before Christmas if you'd like one of them. But other than that, I don't think I'll be making anything anytime soon, I'm afraid, for distribution, for global distribution even. Luca Corcoran, if you build it a home from ground up, describe. If you built a home from the ground up, describe entering. I'm very sorry, Luca, I don't understand what you mean by that. If I build a home from the ground up, describe entering. Rewarding, I suppose. If you built your house from the ground up, you'd be very proud of yourself every time you entered it. But I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Two super chats in. M Wilcher 9819, thank you very much. And Dello sir, who says, big fan of the sweater game. Mort really wants your attention in the chat. What's Mort saying? Mort, send it in again there and I look out for it. Do you want some handmade tools? No charge, no joke. I forge in the US. You inspired me to keep going. I'd love to return part of that favor. Amazing. Yeah, thanks, Mort. Sure, drop me an email and we can sort that out. Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah, I've had a mallet made in America recently as a gift. But then feckin' customs come along and value the thing at much more than what it's probably worth. And then I have to pay a big customs duty on it. So whatever you're sending, we'll have to come up with some sort of trick to say it's a gift or something from now on. Because you know, I'd love to receive that kind of a gift, but I also wouldn't like to pay a crazy amount of money to the government just for, you know, the privilege of bringing it into this country. This is a very knotty piece. Of all the pieces of wood they could use to make a moulding, I can't believe they choose this. ZMF says, well, horse, where you see yourself in 5 years up in Leitrim? Oh, I doubt it. I'd like to see myself with a big property restoration under my belt, buying an old property and doing it up, all traditional. If I have that, at least, maybe not completed, but if I have that underway by 2030, I'd be a happy man, I hope. Can I talk a little about my cap? Yeah, I first started wearing a cap when I cycled to Kerry with a few friends back when we were probably 18 or 19, um, maybe a bit younger. Um, yeah, 18 I'd say, 24 now. So we went into a gift shop there, real touristy, jumpers saying, "Kiss me, I'm Irish," and "I'll heart Guinness." Um, but there was a rack selling paddy caps like the one you see on top of my head now. So I put it on, and now it was 40 quid, 40 euros. It's a lot of money for me at the time. Um, I was making 8 quid an hour, so this is, 5 hours more. That's, yeah, 5 hours work on top of my head. But I really liked the hat, so I just went ahead and bought it. And from that moment onwards, I've more or less worn a hat every single day. Um, I like them. I like the caps. And sure, that's it really. If you like wearing caps, you should wear one. So that's the story with my hat. Do you dislike England? I suppose from a historical context, it's kind of like, oh yeah, England, grr. But I don't know. I think it's a long time ago now. You shouldn't let the past stop you from making friends with English people. Same time, I'd like to see Ireland, you know, be unified in my lifetime. Do you speak Gaelic? I was learning, then I kind of got too busy, but I really need to stop making excuses and just go out and learn it. It's a very challenging language to learn. I shouldn't be making excuses, but I was never very much good at learning languages in school or ever really. But it is our native tongue here in Ireland, and it was taken from us. So it's only right now that we have our independence and we're not, you know, ruled by a foreign power, that we should regain our national language now that there's nobody stopping us from learning it. There's a super chat gone in there that I missed. Much love from County Tyrone. It's great to see old crafts being kept alive and well. Well, thank you very much. I think I've never actually been to Tyrone, one of the few counties I've not visited. But it's definitely on the list. I'd like to leave no stone unturned. You know, I'd rather go to Tyrone now than Spain. To be honest with you, I hate foreign holidays, I really do. Just lounging in the sun all day, it's not for me. We're not cut out for sun here in Ireland. I don't know why we obsess over sun holidays. It's nothing to do, just lounge around and, I don't know, maybe read a book or get drunk or something. But I'd much prefer now to just get landed in a random village in Leitrim somewhere, and I'd walk down the road and I'd see so much beautiful historical buildings, and you know, you get talking to the locals then, and you understand their culture a lot better than you would some person from Spain. Also, I don't speak Spanish, so the language barrier would also be an issue. Europe has many beautiful churches and cathedrals. They're definitely worth a visit. Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'm sure I will get to see some of them. But, you know, my heart belongs in Ireland. Alright, I think this one's ready for sanding. Oh, how's Lucy? Is she getting old now? When I drive in home and she goes to stand up, she kind of, the hind legs, kind of, they struggle. You know, you can see they're putting in a bit more work than what they're used to. That's sad to see them grow old, but she's still wagging the tail and doing that thing where she does, and she says, "Oh," when she's hungry. Burris says hello, says love from Vermont. Oh, if you're just joining me, we're rounding up fairly soon. But thank you, Spurus. And BB234. I'll forge the steel and pay for the cost. I don't have your email. Can't find it either. You should be able to find it on the about section of my channel. If not, message me on Instagram or Facebook. I don't get to answer all of them just because there's too many of them come in, but I'll make a special point of looking out for your one. So there we go. We'll do this on the stream just so you guys can, you know, the satisfaction of seeing it all come together. I say as it refuses to come together. So that's one molding in. That's another molding in. I'm sure there's a correct order that I'll figure out off camera, but for now, would you guys please cooperate so that I can go to bed? There we go. That's our nice decorated panel. One step closer to being a finished dresser. Thanks for watching, folks. Back out again. If BB234 says, what's better for handles, tung oil or Danish oil? I've only ever used Danish oil. Give it a coat, give it like a few minutes to soak in, wipe off the excess, wait 4 hours, do that 5 or 6 times and you'll get a lovely handle. But I really better wrap it up. Thank you to anyone who joined, especially those of you who sent in super chats. You know, this is what enables me to earn a living. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream. Good night. Agus slán go fóill. And one more super chat from Luca Corcoran. Thank you very much. Good night.